I think this is the beauty of the IPL. Every team gets reset after 3 years. Obviously, it's a lot harder for teams that have been successful over the last cycle, like Delhi Capitals has been. So for us to go back into the auction with only 4 players is a bit upsetting, but that is the IPL and that's the beauty of the league. So we've prepared really hard till this stage, and there's been a lot of work that's gone on behind the scenes, and we're very excited about building the new squad for the new season. Yeah, I think with the 4 retentions, we already have a very strong core. I think we've really trusted Rishabh, Prithvi, and Aksar, and obviously Nokia as our out and out fast bowler. So I think the core is very well set with the 4 players, and I think now we have to build the squad around these 4 individuals. I think given the dynamics of the IPL, given that there will always be 7 Indians in the lineup, Indians will always go at a premium. So we also have to realize that we need to develop and groom the next big Indian stars. So a few years back when when Delhi Daredevils at the time picked Rishabh Pant or Shreyas Iyer or Prithvi Shaw, they were unknown commodities, and they became who they are today. And now after all these years, have become stars and are playing for India. So while we do have our eyes on established Indian players, established foreign players, we also have our eyes on up and coming young Indian players, up and coming young foreign players, because you can't have everything. You can't build a super selector team in the IPL auction. And I've been seeing the fans' comments, and I've been seeing who the fans wants, and we all want the same players, but it's just not a practical reality. So we have to be very, very focused. I think, see, we have 4 players, and we've spent 42.5 crores on these 4 players. There are other franchises that have also retained 4 players. They are on the same keel as us. There are others who've picked only 2 players, or some have picked 3 players, and they've spent big money on those 2 or those 3 players. So when they go into the auction, it might seem like they have more money than us, because they do, but they have less players than us. So they will have to pick big players as well. So if you look at the names in the auction of who's available, there will be a few players who go north of 10 crores, and if you add what they've already spent on 3 players to that 10 crores that they will spend on their 4th player, they come to the same purse as us. So I think it's more or less everyone's even, more or less everyone's equal, because if you look at our squad and you look at the quality of players we've retained, for the values we've retained them at, like to like players will be going for a similar amount of money. And that's the kind of analysis we did when we retained these players, thinking, oh, okay, we're getting Prithvi Shaw for 8 crores. What would he go for in the auction if we don't retain him? And we realized that someone like him would fetch more than 8 crores or 8 crores in the auction. Similarly for an Aksar, similarly for a Nokia, and Rishabh is Rishabh. So yeah, so I think it's quite even. For sure, if we have a dream name in mind, like we want a very big name, and Punjab wants that same very big name, they'll get them because they have more money than us. But after a while, after they spend big, after these teams that have more money than us spend big on a couple of players, they'll be back to where we are. So it's going to be, I would say it's going to be a game of attrition. I think it's going to be, patience is going to be a big virtue tomorrow. Not letting your ego come in the way is going to be a big thing. And following the plan and following the process is going to be key. Yeah, absolutely. I think auctions are highly dynamic. So that's why it's extremely important that you don't go into the auction with any non-negotiables. I really want this player and I will go to any lengths to get this player. Unfortunately, we're not in that position. We're not in that, we don't have that kind of budget. And if you do have that strategy and end up spending big on one player, it could throw your entire balance off. So, we've had a very structured approach. For each position, we have a pecking order of our wish list. We've got values ascribed to each player. And we know that, okay, if we save money on one particular spot, we can go that extra mile for another particular spot. But yeah, I think I will be leaning a lot on Kiran's experience also. We have a very good relationship, and Many times we just have to make eye contact and we know what the other person is thinking. So either he's going to be holding my hand down or I'm going to be holding his hand down, but we have to be true to the process, and we have to allow all the work that has happened over the last month to take over when we sit in the auction tomorrow and day after. Trust us, trust the process, and we will build a very, very competitive squad for Delhi Capitals. We couldn't win the IPL for the city of Delhi yet, and all our efforts are on to make sure that we can bring that trophy back home. Tomorrow these next 2 days are very important 2 days for us. So support us and have trust that the same group that got us to the IPL finals and got us top of the league knows what we're doing.